Hello everyone! Starting a little bit early today because we're playing in a tournament. We want to do our little yappy bit before we have to go into the play bit. So, welcome to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today, it is the Angel Cup, and we did get a sudden surge of sign-ups. So we are actually going to have a relatively okay-sized event. It's not like a crazy event. There's only 16 people signed up. But 16 is kind of the bare minimum you really want to be hitting. So it's something at the very least. But the big thing we have today is we did have the new ban list and skill changes get announced. And as always happens, all of the community-run events are going to adhere to the new changes. So the big elephant in the room is Gaia. Gaia got absolutely destroyed. Like, a ridiculous amount of nerfs hit that deck. It's now locked to only using Gaia monsters in the extra deck. It is now only getting a 300 boost down from 600 boost, which is extremely significant. As well as you can no longer just grab the polymerization and a normal monster from your deck to your hand, meaning their big fusion play turn is basically dead. You can now do it really late into the game if you find your polymerization early. So it's very awkward now. I think it's going to feel significantly weaker. Now, dragons and psychics did also get nerfed, but the issue there is dragons should feel a lot worse, and their like grind game should feel a lot worse, but they're still going to be able to have that same OTK potential. But again, if you're able to survive their big push turn, theoretically they're not going to have much gas left in the tank, so that's at least something. The other big issue is that because community events tend to try and allow you to use the skills, but just like not use them in the way that they'll be changed, it's meant that the Angel Cup has banned the psychic skill. Now that in itself isn't the end of the world, right? But the Gaia skill, which you can kind of finagle if you just use it in a certain way to make it kind of change to the new one, still has that 600 boost. And I think that is going to make a significant difference, because now if you're able to get out a 3000 monster, or even just a 29, which we've seen like Worms be able to do, you get out the field spell, the 2500 attack, you're at 29, they can still crash into your monsters, which is something they won't be able to do when the changes actually go into effect. So, personally, I would have banned it. But, saying that, either way, it's kind of a fake format, right? Because either you get rid of the skill altogether, and it's a fake format, or you don't get rid of the skill, and it's not going to behave in the way that it should do, so it's a fake format. Plus, Psychic's been taken out anyway, so it's also a fake format. So, like, it's a really weird spot to be in. But let's see what we have in the chat. We have Dragson, they hit Gaia. It's a happy day. We got Ninjetti Ursus, welcome. We have Dr. Alex in the chat. We have Duncan, Yapasaurs, always the Yapasaurs. Yeah, I feel like Gaia skill should have been banned for this one, to be honest, but it'll be fine. Well, I'm curious to see what the other TOs do. Because obviously we have Quantum. I assume Quantum is going to do a Quantum Rush today, but he did do one on Tuesday. So we'll have to see what he decides to do. I don't know if Hikari's doing one tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow even. There was also Grand is doing one on the weekend. We'll have to see what he decides to do, if he's going to ban everything or just like shake it up a bit. But Metarian, what's wrong, Shari? What's wrong? Why are we sad for Metarian? What's going on with Metarian? Is it just because they've taken so you can't play Metarian and Gaia anymore? Is that the sadness part? Because let's be honest, that skill was like absolutely disgusting. So getting rid of it is almost certainly just a net positive. All right, let us go ahead and we'll hop over to here, and then we can take a little bit of a look and see who is like signed up for this event, etc., etc. Because I'm curious to see who is actually signed up. So we got Hikari, we got Bismarck, we got me, we got Ika, we have Bumpy, Happy Danny, everyone is Happy Danny, we got Jasper, we got Weiner, so Weiner was a Worlds participant, as well as I believe he won 2 different KC Cups, or okay, so he got GRFs. This guy, I think, changes his name every single time. We got Gozu, we got Ra, we got Ninjetti, Ursus, Lion, Polaris, Mauro. I know Mauro. And this, my name is ATM. So we have some familiar faces. Or Shawsies. Hello first. Hello, Hikari. Welcome, welcome. And hello, Dwan. Welcome, welcome. Well, I can't help but notice that Dwan isn't signed up. Dwan, you usually play in these, don't you? We'll go ahead and give our shout out to Hikari. There you go, Hikari. There's your shout out. Are you planning on running a tournament this week again, Hikari? I know you did one on Tuesday. I don't know if you're planning to do one on Sunday or Saturday as well. Alright, let's go and take a look at the bracket and see if our game has been posted. It looks like it is, and we are going to be against Mauro. So we will go ahead and hop into that and prioritize getting the game ready. Okay. Right, he's already sent a code, so we'll go ahead and join his room. And once we're in the room, we'll sort out the stream so you guys can see. Okay, we are beginning the duel. Get rid of this. And y'all can see. Alright. Yes, deciding what to do with the skills. Well, Quantum theoretically is doing one today, so you could always see what he does and go from there. The rush skill changes seem pretty good, IMO. Yes, I also think the same. Ooh, it's actually Dark Galaxy. It's actually Dark Galaxy, okay. By the way, I have not played Cyberse in a very long time, so we are just... I mean, I guess we're just doing this. Or just, the thing is, this could be really, really good, or this could be really mid, depending on what he's got. This is probably really good. This is probably really good. Right, goes for the Pog. If he outs this immediately, though, we are going to be in such an awkward spot. So he's milled 2 Requiem and a Star Trancer. Adds back the Star Trancer. Adds Tearfing. The Tearfing is 400 attack. So the fact that he added the Star Trancer and not Requiem tells me he's got access to Requiem. Yeah, okay, so he's going to use Cataphract to get the back. So he's going to easily out this. He's going to absolutely out this without even trying. The other issue is going to be that we are going to have less Yggdrago in our deck to draw. And we still have 28 cards. Basically, if this gets outed, which it should be outed, right? Oh, it didn't get outed because he milled the wrong card. Oh my god, that's so funny. So because he milled a spell card, he is not going to have access to Requiem. Did he get greedy? Because all he needed to do was take back the Requiem. And then he was fine, right? Because he had plenty of normal summons by the look of it. So that's a card I need to get rid of. Really. Okay, we'll go ahead and use the effect. I think we flip this up, because this is the card I need gone, more than anything. Then we'll set this. There's no reason to do anything else, so we'll go straight to battle, and we'll just swing into this. Keeping that around is problematic, because if he does find the... I guess with this back row, it doesn't really matter, because he can always get it over 4,000. But Requiem is the scary thing, right? Okay, are we just using this to put the Requiems back in the deck so we can try and draw into them? 1, 2, that looks like the case. And we're putting the Cataphract back in as well. We are going to flip up the Azarth. We do mill Elysium, so not a Requiem. So 2 boss monsters in defense mode. The question is, so I could flip up the boss monster and attack it, which, like, isn't inherently a bad thing, but it comes with a slight issue, being I'll do less damage if I attack over it. It's only 1500. But if I let him get out a Requiem, which he's going to draw into eventually, as well as, like, 2 other bosses, he could just kill me. So I think we do want to flip a boss up, as much as it feels, like, really bad. I could do less damage and just deal with both bosses. But it means milling more cards. My trap card isn't even live right now because we have too many cards in hand. I think we're just going to go to battle. We're just going to go for the 1500. I think having him on some sort of clock is still really important. Because it was always going to be a 2-turn clock either way, no matter what we flipped. We're fully expecting our Yggdrago to get killed at some point, so he milled double Requiem again. So he finally has the Requiem. So that means he can now get the Requiem, assuming he just has enough normal summons. He can get the Requiem up to 4,400. So we'll take 400 damage when he clears Yggdrago. Then he'll attack us directly for 25, plus whatever else he summons. So we're going to take, what, 40... we might be dead. We might be dead. Yeah. Oh, he had the other one, so he drew into the other one. Yeah, we are just dead. We're just dead. We're just dead. That is a shame. That is a shame. I mean, to be fair, we did get sacked a little bit here, because he needed to draw into one, and he needed to mill another one in order for this to work. And there's nothing we could have done about this, right? Like, our play, nothing changes, right? Like, we could have flipped, we could have popped and then run over the other one. But that still doesn't change the maths, right? Like, at that point, as long as he gets this out, we're still dead. Because he could have just summoned out the 16 on top. So we didn't misplay. And that's at least something. The downside there is we play a crap ton of traps and we just didn't draw any. We just did not draw any. You're dying? Is your nose still giving you issues, Manicus? Is that what's going on? Okay. We're going second this time. Okay, we have almost a full Yggdrago. That's something. Tributes to set, so that's the scary card right now. The guard is a nice card to have. Right, we'll go Atron, activate Atron. That doesn't really change anything. We go Chaos Femtron, activate the effect. You know what? I would love to have this back in my hand. It kind of sucks that we lost Pot of Greed, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and maximum summon. Out comes the big boy. Activate the effect. We'll flip up the Tribute monster, because it's the only one that's actually kind of concerning to me. Then we'll just mash into it. I'd really like to have more back row. This deck plays so many traps, and yet we keep only having one. And he's probably going to have back row hate as well. Imagine I die before dying us. Or just keep going to the doctor. Keep going to A&E. Eventually they'll fix you up, right? So this is the annoying part, is that Requiem can, like, competently get over 4k. Which makes it a really bad matchup for this deck. Because most decks can't do that, right? They have to find their TSA. Or they have to find, like, a very specific group of cards. Whereas, like... Yeah, and he's got the Universal Storm. Yeah, he just gets to do everything for free. I mean, this is also an absolutely fantastic time to be on this skill. Like, this skill is perfect for this matchup because you don't have to crash. Which is, like, so annoying. So we're going to lose over half our life, and we lost our trap card as well, which is really bad. The plus side is, if we do get another maximum off, we should be in a really, like, okay spot. Ugh. Okay. What do we have in the graveyard at the moment? We have Atron. So this is Femtron and Atron, but they both need Femtron and Atron, so that's not going to work. We can use one of them. So we'll activate Zetron. This is where things get a bit awkward though, because we have to put cards back into our deck. We're probably putting this. So I want to use this effect to get another piece back. We're probably going to summon this tribute for that, and I want to have that left in my hand. So I think we are getting rid of that. Okay, I think we're getting rid of card restoration, as much as I'm not really a big fan of doing that. This one is draw 2, send top 2. Alright, we'll go Zetron. Oh, do we get Atron into the graveyard again? I still don't think it's worth doing. I think I'd rather get out Pictotron. Or mind you, Pictotron's probably better to summon over that. Oh well, we'll do it this way. Or do we? No, we'll go Zetron. We'll go Zetron. That's so irritating. Okay, it's always you. Negate attack is like, it's so big. But if he just has back row hate, it doesn't matter anyway, but I think it's worth keeping. Alright, we're just going to try this and hope. Right, Femtron. Activate the effect. That's not ideal. Alright, Tribute, summon. Activate the effect. Okay. I don't think there's a reason to use that here. So we'll do this and pass. This is, oof. Hello, X-Charged. Welcome, welcome in. Alright. Can we survive this turn? If he just has, like, double back row pop and just lands them both, I'm going to be so sad. But at the end of the day, even if we get knocked out, it's not the end of the world, right? This is our first time... I think this might be, like, the second or third time we've ever actually played Beyond Curiosity. And we haven't played it since the skill change. This is, like, our first foray into it. And if we do lose here, then we just get to spectate, right? And that's completely fine. Hello, Penguin! Welcome, welcome on in. Sets a monster. Tributes to set. Sets another back row. Well, we do have the negate attack. Unfortunately, though, he has a back row of his own now. So if that is his trap card, then we could be in a bit of a weird spot here. We haven't seen any trap cards from him yet. Okay, what is in our graveyard? How many left pieces are in here? 1, 2... Okay. So 2 left pieces in the deck still. I think the chances are higher. There's 1 left piece left in the deck still. Okay, we'll go TSA. I'm going to put both left pieces in just to try and increase our chances of hitting them. And we'll probably also put... I kind of just want the Atrons, if I'm honest. I don't want to mill too much. Which one's the Atron? This one. Okay, let's do this. The issue is, I do think that his back row is going to stop our attack anyway. Should be over to summon this. Activate the effect. Well, we sent 2 L pieces to the graveyard, so not exactly what we were hoping for. That is, but we're kind of a bit low on deck right now. Yeah. I mean, we set this. Do we even set this? Like, maybe we just don't. Right, then we're going to run into his negate attack, and then we're going to die because he's going to put everything in defense and pass the turn twice. So this was not a very entertaining game. I'm sorry, guys. But sometimes this is how this goes. All he has to do is put everything sideways and we lose. But he's going to style on us. Let's get out of here. Let's not mess around. All right, let's say thank you for the game. I don't know if that was, I don't know if that came down to we got unlucky, or if that is just how the matchup is going to go. But that did not feel close at all. That felt like we absolutely get destroyed by that deck, 100%. Like I say, I don't know if we just got unlucky, but like I feel like Requiem is like the perfect hard counter to maximum Yggdrago. It just, I don't know. It just does not feel winnable. But with that, we can now go over and check on the stream and see what's going on over here. So we're also going to have to finagle this because Apaki streams at a really weird ratio, but this isn't Apaki streaming. So we're going to have to see how this goes. So we do this, we do this. So it's still not quite right. Do we want to mess this up for the Apaki side, though? What about if we do that? No, that's not right either. Nope. Perfect. Perfect! There we go. Exactly how we want it. So it looks like we are watching Worms from... I don't know who this is at the top. But the bottom is Ra. Now let's see who Ra is against. We can actually find out quite quickly. Where are you, Ra? This is Lyron. Nibble, Dino support, you know for which deck. I mean, Dino support in general would be just cool, right? That's what I really like. Go NA. That's nice skip. Angel Cup. Go for the speed. Ban list. Nah. We always do the spectating. But welcome on in, Kim friend. Hey, did I miss the yapping? Didn't get Twitch or Discord ping again. We haven't really done a lot of yapping because we fired straight into the tournament. We did like some like little bits, but like not too much. That'll be like after the tournament finishes. Speed running tournament to get back to yapping. Peak tomato efficiency. It's one of those things where, if I'm completely honest, I mean, you guys know, right? You've watched me play. I'm not very good at talking whilst playing. Like, that is just my biggest, like, weakness, is I just suck at talking while playing. Like, I am so bad. So when I do get to drop one just to focus on the other, it does play to my strengths, right? It does make me feel a lot more comfortable. I'm able to just kind of be... That being said, I don't really like getting knocked out of a tournament in the first round. That does kind of suck. Okay, so it looks like this is... Is this Maximum Ragnarok? Yeah, so it's Maximum Ragnarok versus Fusion Worms. We'll see what actually happens here. Requiem doesn't hard counter Worms, apparently, but I'm still fighting. Yes, I mean, I don't know why it would. So the big thing with Yggdrago is a light monster, so very easily you can get up to 4k with Requiem, right? So that's one reason it's really good into it. On top of the fact, if your Yggdrago gets outed, you now have nothing else on the field. So Worms 1 aren't light, so you don't get extra bonus. You can still attack over them, but that's kind of it. And usually Worms are going to have 3 relatively big guys on the board, so even if you can clear that whole board, you won't deal a lot of damage. I think Worms are always going to be the kind of the kryptonite for decks that want to like push for a lot of damage very quickly. Because they're basically, the Worm strategy is build a wall. I know it was a joke because I'm losing. I mean, yeah, but I was just more referencing what I was saying about before with Yggdrago just not being good into Dark Galaxy. It's funny as well because that means there were 2 Dark Galaxies signed up for this event. And it's one of those things, again, where I think I would imagine the majority of people playing are going to be on Worms. I don't know that, but I would imagine. And therefore, bringing Dark Galaxy, although it's really cool, is very, very specifically going to be good into, like, a handful of decks that are going to be played. So it'll be interesting to see... Because, like, Ursus... I don't actually know what Ursus is going to be on. Ursus typically plays Pyro. Bismuth has been favoring... I want to say Bismuth's been favoring Gaia? I haven't paid too much attention recently is the main issue. That's the issue I've been having. If people aren't playing something really, really based, I just haven't been like paying attention. But we do have some really interesting matchups. Hikari is playing against Weiner. So Hikari is playing against a world competitor. Also a, I believe, 2-time GRF winner. We got Deco Boko is playing against ATM. We've got Squid, or Ika, is playing against Gozu. Obviously, we've got this match, which is Ra versus Liron. Bismuth versus Ursus is a really good one. We have Happy Danny versus Sugachi. And then finally, Jasper versus Polaris. We've got some pretty good games today. Hello, Igami. Welcome, welcome. Hi, chat and Tomato. Good luck to those participating. Yeah, so I believe out of the people here, it is Ursus and Hikari, I believe, are the people playing. See, this is what I was hoping for when I signed up for this event. I was hoping I would play against a bunch of Worm players, and they would struggle to get over my maximum. That did not end up happening, because we ran into the hard counter to our deck, which is so annoying. I actually don't know if there are any other like hard counters to Cyburst. Like, to be honest, the counter to Cyburst is like TSA, or Tribute to the Doomed, right? Those are the actual counters to Cyburst. Every deck can run those cards, right? But I feel like Dark Galaxy just runs like extra ways to deal with it, and it's all in engine, so it just becomes really smooth for them to do it. But obviously we aren't going to be seeing any Psychic today. I'll be interested to see if anyone's playing Gaia or Dragons after the nerfs. Because again, Gaia is a weird one, because Gaia is still going to have its 600 boost, but it should be 300, right? And if you're playing the Gaia skill, you have to be careful with how you use it, because you don't want to accidentally do the wrong thing, because you have to use it the new way it's been changed. Beyond that, it would be... Oh, what's the other one? Oh, do we not have our thingy up? That's a little bit... Let's change that real quick. I guess if we drag this down here, let me grab our overlay and put it up to there. Then we have to put that up as well. Okay, that's a little bit better. We don't need to see the others chat. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Oh Christ! That's a lot of Is that Crystron? I believe that's a Crystron card. So Ursus has managed to take down Bismuth 2-1, and will be going against Mauro, so we know that's I would imagine Ursus is probably playing Pyro, but who knows? We know what Mauro's playing, so we just played against them. Ra did obviously just win that game, so here we'll be playing the winner out of Gozu and Squid. Crystron, Quarian Gandrax. Interesting, interesting. It's Elmaz! Hello, Elmaz. Welcome, welcome. They finally changed the Gaia skill properly. Yes. It's weird. I don't really know why they didn't just do all of the changes on this list last time after the GRF. It feels really weird that you wouldn't do that. But it is what it is. Right? I don't know. It seems weird. It seems very strange to me. I actually think right now, I actually really like both of the formats, and I especially like the new ban list that we just got. I think the heaviest hit, realistically to me, feels like it was Predaplants. I don't really think Predaplants needed quite as heavy a hit, but again, I'm always going to be looking at this from a dinosaur perspective, right? I always look at the format from my own deck's perspective, and I didn't find Predaplant to be that, like, annoying. I didn't find it that oppressive. I kind of felt like it was fine. So hitting that deck as brutally as they did just felt like, did we need to hit this deck as hard as we did? Beyond that, I think yes, Resonators did need a hit. But I already felt quite confident in the Dinosaur into Resonator matchup. So now that they've been hit, I just feel more confident into that matchup. The Salad hits, I think, are I think they'll be significant, but again, Salad wasn't really a matchup that I struggled with as dinosaurs. So I look at that as like, well, now it should be a little bit easier as long as they don't like suddenly replace the cards that have been hit with like more copies of Crow or more copies of Droplet, then like that should be fine, right? Because that's the thing that really messed my dinosaur deck up the most is it's like Crow, it's Droplet, sometimes it's Droll, it's all like generic cards. Like I kind of want people to play as much engine as possible and as much in archetype as possible, so they're not playing like the generic staples that mess me up. Odd Eyes Orcust makes a comeback. I don't know. I haven't really played against Odd Eyes Orcust, so I don't really have like an opinion like formulated on it, to be honest. Orcust can be interesting. Armageddon Knight is unlimited. Yes. I mean, yeah, Armageddon Knight being unlimited is actually kind of huge. I'm trying to think what else you could do. Orcust is like the obvious one, right? You slap it down, send, I don't know, Symbol Skeleton to the graveyard, use its effect, bring out Orcust Nightmare, link both into Galatea, then use Orcust Nightmare to get thingy in the graveyard. What's the other one called? Harp Horror? I always forget. I always get the names mixed up. I think Harp is the one that special summons, actually. I think Symbol Skeleton is the one that summons from the graveyard. But then you're just like, you're a body shy of just like having full combo, right? Losing Recurrence is huge for Salad, to be fair. They lose a lot of resources because of that. Yes. I don't like undersell it, but for me, the times I lose to Salad, again, I'm always going to be looking at it from my deck's perspective, right? From my deck's perspective, I lose to Salad when they Crow and when they Droplet me. And if they're not doing those things, usually I'm beating Salad up. So, like, sure, it's a hit to the deck, but I don't think it changes my matchup against them unless they suddenly start putting those other cards in. Because it's one of those, it's actually a really big blind spot, is I am really bad at knowing how other matchups go. It's like Salad versus Predaplan, or like Salad versus Resonator. I'm like, I really just don't know how those matchups go. I had to mill one boss, I didn't mill it. But we do have Hikari on stream right now. So again, as we did say before, this is very much going to be in Weiner's favor, which is the worm player. I had 4 left. Oh no. How many bosses are you playing? Are you on the 4 boss or the 5 boss? Or the dreaded 6 boss? Tomato, you entered a lot of tourneys after the new speed box of Dino support. How do you feel Dinos now? My opinion on Dinos is Dinos have a winning matchup into every deck if you don't brick, right? The issue with Dinos is if you brick, your deck's not going to do anything at all. You can play through a lot of stuff with Dinos if you open like a custom hand, but you need to open a custom hand. And if any deck opens a custom hand, they can do quite a lot, right? The issue is Dinos lose, at least pure Dinos in my experience, lose quite hard to like I was saying, generic cards, right? You lose to Crow. You lose to, sometimes you'll lose to Skullmeister. You lose to sometimes Droll. You can lose to Dweller, depending on what your hand is like. You can lose to different Dimension Ground. Like, there's so many, like, one-of random-ass cards. Droplet is another massive one, which you just lose to. So a lot of the time when I play, I'm just kind of like, please don't have these generic staples, and then I'll be fine. Because then all I need to do is not brick. And in general, I find that the deck doesn't actually brick that often. Like, it will still brick, like, every handful of games. But in a best of 3, usually you won't brick twice. That's, like, my experience with the deck, but I might just be lucky, right? But, like, there is no matchup I go into like, oh god, this is going to be an uphill battle. Though, actually, I played against a Subterra yesterday, and Subterra is actually really annoying. Do you like the Fleur version of Dinos? So, I haven't played it. I don't have all the cards for Fleur. From my experience watching it, I would say that the Fleur deck feels like it can play through a lot more things. So it, for example, I think doesn't lose as hard to, like, Crow, right? Like, Crow will still hurt it, for sure. But I think you can still competently play through Crow. Whereas you need very specific cards to play through Crow in Pure. So, like... Ah, there we go. Unfortunately, that is going to be Hikari taking the L against Wino. Imagine Dino Fleur if they exist Dino Synchro. It's one of those... It's one of those things where I really like Pure Dinos, and I like it because the deck is really tight. Everything is where you need it to be. Because you're playing only a 20-card deck, it also means that the chances that you draw what you're looking for are very high. Like, it's kind of rare that I don't open Misk, right? Or a way to get to Misk. So, depending on the matchup, that can be kind of bad, because, like, if you're against Resonators and you're going second, you need to hard open Misk, otherwise you get screwed, right? Hello, Baj! Welcome, welcome. Did I miss the talk? Now, we're just kind of yapping during the tournament. We did just see Hikari get knocked out, so she's going to join me and Bisma in the knocked out first round club. Really sad. I thought I had this. Well, GG's. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, again, it was against you. So the fact you made it as close as you did is really good, right? You should give yourself a pat on the back for that for sure. And don't forget, the guy you're against went 2 worlds. So, like, again, massive props for doing that well against a player like that. Oh, and we are going to be watching Ursus versus Mauro. So we'll get to see what Ursus is on. Again, I would assume Ursus is playing Chemicalized, but we'll see. Tomato lights and tight. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest, but maybe. Maybe. I kind of like Dino Guy from GX when he used Conductor and others. Yeah, Tyranno Hasselberry, or what was his name in Japanese? I can't remember what his name in Japanese was. Again, GX is something I watched when I was a child, and it was, like, airing on TV. So, like, that was before my time of, like, delving into just watching everything subbed. The first Yu-Gi-Oh! Series I watched subbed was 5Ds. And that's because, you know, the internet was more readily available at that point, as well as I was watching other stuff subbed, right? I think by this point, I'd already started watching things like Naruto and Bleach, you know, kind of baby's first subbed anime. Alright, well, this is actually an interesting matchup. I think I would give this to Pyro. I think Pyro have a bit of an advantage here. Because both of these decks are kind of similar in what they do, but Pyro tend to have quite good defense, and are better able to spam out high body monsters, which means the piercing effect isn't going to do as much, as well as, like, we don't have lights, so we shouldn't be playing as much into giving that extra little boost to the Requiem. Oh, we do have a Pog from Mauro. Dark Galaxy mills a lot. They do. I mean, so do Pyro, but Pyro have ways to put it all back in, right? Salamander will be happy. Yeah, for sure, for sure. The question becomes, because the issue that Dark Galaxy is going to have is Dark Galaxy really wants to end the game quickly. But that you can't really do that against a deck that walls up with a bunch of, like, 2500 attack guys. The flip side to that is we don't really have any way to get through 3 defensive monsters, so we have to just kind of wait until Mauro either runs out of defensive monsters or decks out, really. Like, all we can do is apply pressure and hope that eventually this just wins. I would assume we are going to be seeing some TSAs in a second. Right, here comes a back row hate. We're gonna pop another one. That's the trap hole gone. We are gonna be putting cards back into our deck using Globule, which is nice, Do you think Guy will be tier 1 or at least after the skill nerf? Or maybe we'll wait for the new stuff to come before Worlds? I would imagine my gut first impression is Gaia is going to immediately slip down to tier 3. It might fall off the list and it might go down to Rogue. I don't think it's staying in tier 1, and I don't think it's even going to be a tier 2 deck. I went too aggressive, mayhaps. Oh! Yeah, I mean, what can you do about that? The issue there is him just taking advantage of your ridiculously low defense value. I mean, that kind of sucks. I mean, he did what he needed to do, right? He played it correctly. He went very defensive until he found exactly what he needed to kill you. Which, to be fair, is like, it's kind of a lame strategy, right? Hi, Tomato. Hello, Yuki. Welcome on in, my friend. Why not Tomato? Isn't Pure Gaia good by itself? So, Pure Gaia is fine. The issue is, the skill didn't just lock you to just Gaia. So the skill now also has halved the attack boost you get. So it used to be 600, now it's 300. That is huge because that now means that your boss monsters only go as high as 29. 29 is not a big enough number to be relevant in the current meta, because now what? You can attack over like 28s, which is fine, but how are you getting over a 3k? How are you getting over worms, which is very prevalent, which have a lot of 29s? Now you have to crash into the worms, right? It's not good enough, as well as you no longer get your play to just add polymerization and a normal monster to your hand. You now have to get them back from the graveyard, which means you have to get poly into the graveyard initially to do that. So you've now lost your, I'm just basically going to get most of a free fusion out onto the board very, very easily. So I think overall, all of those things combined are going to make Gaia, even in its pure variant, feel very, very weak. At least in comparison to how it feels right now. Give me advice, which deck should I bring in this tournament? How we can in. So this is a Japanese tournament we're watching right now. The tournament is already well underway. We're kind of almost in the semi-finals now, so you're definitely not playing in this one. But if you're asking what my opinion on a rush deck to play, I would say if you have Worms, Worms is fantastic. Worms is not complicated. It is very, very straightforward. It's very fun, because like just building a big board is fun. It has kind of outs to everything it needs to. The only issue you're going to have with Worms is maximums. If it's not a maximum monster, Worms don't care, but they will just beat through it anyway. So like, as long as you just put outs to maxes in the deck, Worms are probably just going to be one of the strongest decks right now. I did like running 4 traps in my current Pyro build. Rice, Trap Hole, Slime, and Freeze. Oh, Rice is... That's a blast from the past. I'm trying to think what specifically Rice is good into. It's good into Worms, because they'll be bringing back with Gantry and with the Bill Dragon. It's not going to be good realistically into Dragons. It would be good against Psychic if they were legal. It's not going to be good into Cybers. I guess it potentially good into Gaia, especially now it's pure. I think every Gaia list now is just going to be on Monster Calling. Heroes! We're seeing heroes played! So this is, who is this? This is Happy Danny versus Polaris. Okay. I'm interested to see how heroes actually perform here. Because heroes basically just got a massive buff because theoretically, Metarian is gone again. Right? Theoretically. Which means warrior decks can like rise up. Thanks, I build this deck and stay only 1 monster and finish, so I'm in right away. I see. So since Gaia will fall down from the tier list, I think it means we have to wait what they're going to release before Worlds, because they might release something good. Yeah, I mean, we have just seen, Elmaz, skill leaks, which are predicting, or I guess like foreshadowing or inferring some new cards we're going to get. So I can go ahead. I did already make a video about this. I'll go ahead and like chuck that somewhere. I'll chuck it in chat. There you go. So this is our video. Basically going over our predictions for what the skill leaks are inferring we're going to get. So based on that, if I'm to be trusted, which I don't know if I trust me, but that means we'd be getting Light Galaxy Fusions, Dark Galaxy Fusions, Dragonic seems likely. Like, we're probably going to get most of those cards. And then the Sevens Road and Master of Sevens Road, which I think is cool. I've seen a lot of people say they think we're going to get a Sevens Road structure deck, and potentially we could get one. I don't know for 100% we're going to be getting that, but maybe. Maybe. Waiting for the new cards at this point. I'm not playing Worm format in GRF. What's wrong with Worm format? Worms are cool! Worms are awesome! And Worms have, like, a lot of ways to, like, play around them. They're not, like, an infallible deck. They just have a really strong backbone. Pyro Meta. Hello, Mr. Tomato Sasso. Hello, Giorfio. Welcome on in, my friend. Hi, Hikari-chan. Do you play this tournament? Yes, but I lost. Yeah, me and Hikari both got knocked out in the first round. Basically, if someone makes content on a game, they're basically bad at it. That's how this works, right? So sad. When this tournament started? This tournament started about 40 minutes ago. Sounds pretty peak. Hello, Acceleration Gate. Welcome. Let's give Acceleration Gate the shout out as well. Although now I have to, like, spell Acceleration Gate, which is not a difficult thing to spell, but any minor spelling mistake means it doesn't work. Have we spelled shout out correct? All right, that's the first step. Bam, we got there in the end. What about Mr. World Champ? What about Mr. World Champ? What, Quantum Sesso? Are we expecting something from the Quantum Man himself? Prage. What would you say will be the strongest before we get the new card skills? Pyro, new Cyburst, new Worms. My feeling, without trying to, like, power out other people's opinions, my feeling is, right now, Worms is the best deck in terms of, fundamentally, I think it has the strongest backbone out of any deck. It has, like, the strongest foundations. That being said, it's really bad into, I'd say Cyburst, but really it's maximums. It's really bad into maximums. So if you want to counter Worms, you play a max deck. Now, Worms can play outs to maximums, but they have to hard draw them. Like, they're unsearchable. You have to just kind of find your TSA. Are you even going to run Tribute to the Doomed? Maybe, if, like, max decks becomes that prevalent. But then, the max decks themselves do have their own weaknesses. So they're not, like, infallible in their own. So for me, if it's like a triangle, it would be Worm deck gets beaten by maximum deck, but then you could play, like, a deck that beats a maximum deck, but then that will lose to Worms, right? So it's like, that's like the triangle. That's kind of how I look at this current meta. I think the current meta is going to be entirely formed around Worms. What the hell is this hand? Don't worry about it. Heroes have a lot of draw power now. Lil bro, I've thought about shortening my name, but I've resolved to keep it. I mean, yeah, you should keep it. I mean, everyone knows you as Acceleration Gate now, right? Pyro best deck, surely. Gaia, the skill should be nerfed. I mean, we have just had Gaia skill nerf. That was just announced. Hello, Mr. Tomato. What the hell is this hand? Yo, WTF is that? 10 cards? It's just so that we can combo off. What are we against? We're against Harpies? Oh, are we playing around... Are we playing around getting, like, Harpy OTK'd? No, what is this deck? Oh, is this... What is this deck? What are we... Is this Santa Mill? I'm very confused as to what I'm looking at. What is Happy Danny playing? It's Mill. Okay. But how are we planning to win against it, is the question. He used the discard spell earlier. I was only playing a single copy, so he's just like, well, I'm just going to sit on all these cards then. What's the negative of summoning out lots of monsters? I haven't played against or played as Santa Mill in a very long time, so I'm trying to remember. Santa mills you based on... Is it the number of monsters you have? I do think... So Santa Mill is kind of annoying, right? In that it plays on a completely different axis, but it's not like a fun axis. It's just like an annoying axis. So part of me is like... We didn't have to play Santa Mill, right? Like, this is potentially the beginning of a really fun format. And bro's like, yes, it's time to bring Santa Mill. This guy misplayed. He's giving too much time for Santa Mill to set up. I think the issue he had was that he didn't have a way to break set 3. Like, well, he did have another draw spell. He did have a second, was it not restoration? Revitalization, is that what it's called? And there's Santa milling. And that is going to be a Santa win. Heroes should avoid the ban list and no... Heroes avoid the ban list and no hero skill hit. I mean, hello Speedy God, by the way. But do you think heroes needed a hit? Heroes have done nothing. Heroes, like, they won, I think, a tournament, like 2 months ago. And I've done nothing since. Guy was kind of gatekeeping this, but I think Worms also farm this. I think it depends, right? Worms will be playing into Santa in that they'll always want to have 3 monsters on the board, but you can quite easily just bash them out of the way by using the fusion. It's one of those things where I think Santa Mill is a really fun and interesting concept, and it's really good if you're in a really bad meta, in terms of, like, it's fresh, it's cool, we haven't seen this in a while, let's break up the mundanity, but I don't like seeing it when theoretically we're going to be in a healthy meta, because then it just becomes cringe, right? So it's a fine line between based and cringe, right? It's a very nuanced balancing act, where to be based, you have to, like, you know, go against the establishment, you have to be, like, interesting, you have to, like, beat up the meta, you have to, you know, people are sick of meta, so we want to see the meta put in its place, and it's, like, really cool. But then, if everything is fine, it becomes cringe, because you're just stalling and milling your opponent, which is really boring. So, on one hand, I'm like, oh cool, Santa Mills here, that's neat. On the other hand, I'm like, I want to see heroes do well, because heroes have been gatekept for so long. Let's watch heroes do something cool. We'll have to see if... Because that's the other thing, is if you're not, like, versed in playing against Santa Mill, it's very easy to misplay into it. Like, not everyone will necessarily be able to have the experience to know when to attack, when do you not attack, when do you apply pressure, when do you know, be conservative. It's not necessarily simple. Yeah, heroes are a pretty bad matchup against this. Yeah. Like, maybe if you're playing, like, I don't know, Piercing Samurai, maybe? But even then... So we're grabbing back Mr. Alchemy. Only reason why Konami doesn't release more traps, they don't want my trap pigeons to shine. I know, it's so sad. Even then you're gonna mill yourself. Yeah. I mean, every deck mills themselves, really. It's just, like, to what extent? Like, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a deck that just never mills. Well. Because the hero deck not only does it mill, but it also wants to add extra cards to hand using Argent. The issue is, I think he's already gotten to the stage where he's seen what happens if he plays passively. So I think he has to go aggressive, but, like, has he just got nothing to go aggressive with? It's just, there's so many cats. Yep, thank God we can burn for 100. He probably doesn't run the 1500. I mean, yeah, probably not. I mean, yeah, why would you be playing tech specifically to beat Santa Mill, realistically? I mean, even the 1500 won't beat, like, Pyro. The cat wall. Everyone loves the cat wall. The wall of cats. What are we doing here? I'm genuinely curious on what the hero player's, like, plan is. Like, are we doing anything? Because, right, we're just slowly losing the game right now. Like, this is what Santa Mill wants. We already know that Flame Wingman spam isn't going to do anything. You're burning for next to nothing. Is this, like, have we just already lost? Like, we lost at, like, deck selection, it feels like. Like, bro just has nothing going for him. I think it's the best he can do. I feel like there should be a way to just get more than, like, just go 3 guys on board. You have to, like, just not care about Santa. And just go aggressive. Keep slamming him as hard as you can. Because, like, the alternative is this, which is nothing, right? At least if you go, like, hyper-aggressive, you have a chance. I feel like this is just this is scooping, right? This is, like, scooping very slowly. He should have TSA. I mean, if he has it, though, he's got to find it. Here comes the Pot of Avarice. I almost feel like the hero player is trying to deck the Santa player out. But that's just, like, not going to work. Tomato was talking about slamming Santa. I didn't have this on my fanfic radar. Listen, sometimes you just have to accept certain things, right? Sometimes you just need to look at yourself in the mirror and you need to just realize who you are. And sometimes that involves slamming Santa. Speaking of slamming Santa, here's Santa. We can activate Sork, bring back Santa. Santa effect. Make our opponent draw another 2 cards, gain some life points, activate Revitalization, and that is going to be the end of the game. Hero Bros! So that means Santa Mill advances to top 4. Yep, that's a thing. I guess for now we'll start filling this in. So we had what, E-Hero? We had Chemicalized. Ra got knocked out, and Ra was playing Cyburst, specifically Maximum Ragnarok, but we just have that as Cyburst on here. We don't know what the other game is yet. We haven't seen that. So now, we'll see about the next game. Leave 1 monster is good, locking Mr. Alchemy. The thing is, if leaving 1 monster on the field, though, leads to doing absolutely nothing, what's the point, right? Alright, so this is the other top 8 match, so we will know exactly what the top 8 is, which is good to know. Hero Bros. Others finally topped the tournament in DLM. Excellent. I mean, our top 4 so far, by the way, is Dark Galaxy, Santa Mill, whatever hell Gozu is playing, and then the winner of this. Whatever Gozu is playing beat Cyburst 2-0. Right, Dark Galaxy. Yeah, Dark Galaxy is already in top 4 and is now against Santa Mill, which probably Dark Galaxy actually has a decent chance into. So we might see Dark Galaxy mirror finals. That could actually be a thing. Psychic is banned here, right? Yes, Psychic is banned, but Chivalrous Celerity is not banned. The only thing with Chivalrous Celerity is you have to, you know, you can only get the poly and the normal from the graveyard, and you can only send, you know, you have to play it as it has been changed, but the only, like, weird thing is that it still gives 600 boost, right? The meta is saved. Last time Sea Serpent's top 4 too, no? Define last time. Like the last time we had like a meta shakeup? Or like, because Sea Serpents haven't topped in a very long time. Even with the 600 boost. I think though with the 600 boost, they can do some stuff. Last Galaxy Cup? Well, Galaxy Cup is... So it depends what you talk about, Igami, because Galaxy Cup is Hikari's tournaments. And it did not top in the latest Hikari tournament. I mean, we can literally just quickly go take a look, right? Like, the last Galaxy Rush was this. If we're talking about Galaxy Cup, as in the OCG tournament, that's a whole nother thing. And this one is Angel Cup. In the last Angel Cup, I don't know how it did the last Angel Cup. Rather than put it on screen, I can go and take a look. The last Angel Cup, it did... Last Angel Cup, it was Gaia Matarian was the entire top 8. The one before that, it was Gaia Matarian, Gaia Matarian, Gaia Matarian, Gaia Hero. And again, it did not top that. The one before that, it was a Sea Serpent top. So it was like 3 Angel Cups ago. But you got to remember, that was like months ago at this point, right? This was like when Gaia was a brand new deck. Yeah, Fish topped the first event with Gaia Legal. Yeah. But that was, again, that was a weird event, right? Because like we just had a load of brand new stuff. Everyone was trying out new shit. Sea Serpent kind of got a free run all the way in. Well, there we go. We are going to see Whiner. So this is, by the way, Whiner in round 1 played against Hikari, who was playing Dark Galaxy. And in the next round is also playing against Dark Galaxy. So Whiner playing Worms has only played against Dark Galaxy, which is very interesting. So that also means Dark Galaxy has been knocked out and is now a top 8 finisher. So the only deck we don't know at the moment is Gozu. We just want to see Gozu. Before KC Cup. Wait, Worm had Tarask pass. Where the fuck did that come from? Worm Bros, let's go. I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like, the deck can just pull a load of crap out of its ass, and that is so good. Like, I love the Worm deck so much. I really want to try it out. I was planning on doing Worms as my first deck profile for this new meta, but I think realistically I'm going to be doing Cyburst twice, so I thought we'd start with Cyburst and then, like, spread the Cyburst out rather than doing, like, 2 Cybursts back-to-back. So it's Gozu versus Whiner. We still don't know what Gozu's playing. And then Happy Danny versus Malro. So again, it's Santa Mil versus... I believe the one that we're going into now, this is Gozu and Whiner, I believe is what we're going to watch in a sec. Is 2 Gantry enough? I think, depending on the build, you want 1 or 2 Gantry. I don't think you need 3, personally, but... Because I got a level 4 in my first 10 packs and resetted. Yeah, I think... So, the thing to remember is, when we played an OCG, we play 40 card decks. In a 40 card deck, about 7 high levels tends to be what you want. And in those ratios, it's very easy to do like 3 Gantry, 3 Bill Dragon, 1 or 2 Drake Crush. In this meta, where we have a lot less cards in the deck, it's so much harder to squeeze it in. You don't really... Like, 6 is the absolute upper limit on boss monsters, right? So I would say some decks are playing 3 Gantry, 1 Bill Dragon. I think, personally, I prefer 2 Gantry, 3 Bill Dragon. The issue is, do you actually want Drake? So, I mean, right, you do want Drake, because getting Drake out is really, really good. The question is it worth having it, right? It makes the deck kind of feel a bit bricky. I think realistically, you're better off just using the Shovelon as your, like, normal monster of choice, and then just bring it back as, like, a 19. I think that works out to be better. But I have seen some people experimenting with Secret Order and Drake Crush. But it gets, like we say, it gets a bit awkward, right? It can get a bit wonky because you just play so many high levels. So in my opinion, I think the best version of the deck is going to be 2 Gantry, 3 Bill Dragon, 0 Drake Crush. I think that's what I think is going to be the best. Like, I haven't thoroughly tested it yet, so... there's also more ways to unbrick with 7 Treasure and Trading, etc. There are, but those cards weren't available when Gantry Dragon first came out. So, it's kind of the same thing. And speaking about that as well, the new Galaxy skills, both the Light and the Dark Galaxy skill, are kind of like you just have access to Shipper 7 Treasures every turn. Or, you know, trade in. It's like having those cards every single turn. Right, so Gozu is playing dragons. So we are seeing dragons in top 4. And personally, I still think this could be a very dragon-favored matchup. It kind of depends. We'll have to see what exactly Gozu has been cooking here. Oh, right, that is not a very good turn 1. That is as bad as it gets. More sense to run 2 Build Dragon, 3 Gantry instead, or am I coping? I mean, it depends, right? Because you can search the Build Dragon. So on one hand, you don't necessarily need it. On the other hand, the Build Dragon is sort of important for like the deck to function, right? Gantry doesn't do anything unless you already have Build Dragon, but you can search it, so that's kind of fine. I think it kind of depends. Get Build Dragon Grave easily with the skill. Yeah. Hello, Victor. Welcome. Yeah, we're doing good. We're watching the semi-finals of the Angel Cup at the moment. A late game Gantry is better than Build. Yes, 100% it is. It just comes down to like... It's like... Sometimes you'll get into a really weird spot where you'll be able to have like Gantry access at a really weird time. So like, for example, you could summon out Picklon, then activate Picklon, and then draw into like Dragline. But then if you Dragline, you can now summon out like a Gantry or a Build Dragon, but then you don't have room for like a Fusion. Or if you just, for example, go Dragline, summon, activate Dragline, bring back Gantry, Gantry effect, bring back Build Dragon. Once again, you don't get your Fusion off, so it's like you always want to have one in the graveyard over the other. I mean, it might very well be that you will end up playing 3 Gantry. Like, very much could be. But again, I haven't like played it, so... Dark Galaxy and Worm bosses being level 8 helps a lot. Yes. Go, Worm, go! I'm doing horrible. I got a giant headache and not feeling so well. Hopefully you take some pills and feel a little bit better. Please no OTK here. Well, we'll have to wait and see. He's already got a million cards in his hand. We do pop the Fusion. Not really what you want to see. Also, why has Gozu got his potato name instead of the name Gozu? Like, Gozu always joins as Gozu. So we are going to see Mirageus come down. Mirageus can reduce the attack of just one of these monsters, because it only works on level 7 and lower. We're going to... So we're discarding the other Mirageus just to get it out of the hand. We are going to be fusing our monsters together into the Mirageus Star. Also, now stream is lagging, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. Activate Mirageus Star. We do mill the Pot of Greed. So this is not... Ooh. This is an OTK depending on the back row is. So this comes down to, did the snipe not matter or not? If that back row is negate attack, we absolutely just lost the 50-50. We lost the coin flip to lose the game. Oh my... In this game, there's literally a coin flip. Actual coin flip game. Gozu has got to be feeling bad about that. To be fair, this game isn't over yet. No, it kind of is, right? We just use the skill. We grab back... Oh no, because it's only one card, so we can't pop it. So we'd have to run over it. Okay, yeah. So we use the skill, bring back the Fusion, use the effect of Build Dragon, bring back Pylon, fuse the two together, get a 3400 guy out. Or we don't even need to do that, apparently. Oh yeah, we need to... You have to normal summon a normal monster. That's right. We have to normal summon a normal monster. We drew the exact normal monster that we needed, so we don't even have to worry about getting out a tribute monster. Activate the Fusion, combine the two together. Oh, yeah. This is fine. Then we just don't activate the effect, because we can't, because it needs to pop 2 cards. And this is why I always aim for the one next to the deck. I mean, that works until it doesn't, right? If there's any good trap, it's a problem, even Fortitude. I mean, yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. On the flip side, though, we are now not really in death range. So even if the trap card is something, which it is, killing us on the crackback is not going to be very easy. It's so funny, though, that this game actually just boiled down to a 50-50. Like, this game was literally just flip a coin to see who wins. Did Gozu already search too? I mean, I was yapping, mate. I have no idea. I don't know if he searched both. I know that he had a lot of cards in his hand, but that dragons do that. Okay. Replacer, bring back Triad. Triad's going to be stuck in defense position, though, so we're not going to be using its effect. Summon out Flip or Flap. I forget which one this is. We do discard the Dragius. Set another monster in defense. Tribute 2. Summon out the mighty Dragius. This does kind of feel like dragons run out of steam a little bit here. Activate the effects. Now we can attack twice. We will clear over the problematic Bill Dream, and we will clear over the drag line to prevent it from getting at more cards. Worms is tier 2. I would make an argument Worms is probably a tier 1 deck now with the changes, but we'll have to wait and see, right? Might be, could also be the best deck, unironically. We're going to go over a good worm list later this stream. I mean, we can take a look at some, right? I mean, some of them have already been topping, right? They got a lot of potential. The grind game is insane. You can pop 2 almost every turn. Someone should teach me how to play Santa Mill. The only response to this meta, it's going meme. This meta seems good. I don't know what you're talking about, Hikari. Everyone seems to really like this meta. Also, hello, Luis Fernando. Saw you pop in just now. Just completely ignored it. Now you set 3, then you set 3, then you set 3 more. And at some point, you mill everything. I love how, like almost everyone is like, man, this meta looks really cool. Finally, we've hit these bad decks. Excellent. The meta is finally going in a healthy direction. And Hikari's like, I hate it here. This meta sucks. I'm going to play Santa Mill. You like the Gaia death? In my opinion, I wanted Gaia to get nerfed to the point where it would be like a tier 2 deck. I feel like it's been over nerfed. So, I mean, there isn't a lot to really learn with Santa Mill, to be honest. There's not like the only like technical part of the deck is like, when do you activate Revitalization? And you can't activate Santa if your opponent doesn't have the correct number of cards in deck, right? I'm true to myself. I'm not beginning to like worms now that they're meta to my own. Cyburst, yes, true. But yeah, again, if you don't like worms, why don't you just play Cyburst? Do you not like Cyburst as well? Because I was literally going to suggest the other thing you could play is Excavator, but I guess that is just worms also. Yeah, I feel like, don't get me wrong, Cyburst isn't like a one-stop, we just automatically beat worms, but it does feel like it's a very favourable matchup. If you don't like worms, there's a medicine you can take, should get rid of them. Yeah, just get dewormed. I mean, it's going to depend, right? It's really going to come down to like how things really shake out, but I would say the meta is going to revolve around worms. So people are going to play worms, they're going to play decks to counter worms, or they're going to play decks to counter the counters to worms. Right? That's kind of how I see this shaking out. Now that, again, that's a very early prediction, but that's kind of how I see things shaking out. But again, you can play decks that counter worms. Like there's probably a lot of them. I actually think Pyro might not be awful at it. I don't know if it will like counter it, but I think they won't have like a garbage matchup into worms. Pot of Greed. It's fine, we're getting like Galaxy Meta Trust. I mean, Unironically, when the new stuff comes out, we might literally just immediately shift into Light Galaxy, Dark Galaxy, and Seven's Road just being the 3 best decks. Like, that is a very real possibility. I think it's kind of ass. Is it ass, though? Pyro had 1 decent matchup. Yeah, but for the same reasons it's pretty good into one deck, it can be pretty good into another, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think Pyro is suddenly going to be like a really strong deck, but I think it could have a good matchup into exactly Worms. Which, you know, it was good in the previous meta because it had a good matchup into exactly Gaia, right? Like, Worms tend to get their graveyard at least somewhat full. Like, they don't, like, stuff it, like, to a ridiculous degree, but they do get a lot of cards into the graveyard. They want to leave 3 monsters in attack. So you're going to be vulnerable to getting salamandered. Hard to break the 29. Is it hard to break the 29 when you've got Salamander and a lot of decks are also playing a Roastery? I feel like breaking 29 isn't actually that difficult. In Grind, it's easy. It's one of those things, I think the big difference when it comes to Worms is always going to be Build Dream. Build Dream being able to pop 2 massive guys out the way and just absolutely get in for some easy damage, in my opinion, is the big decider. So, the issue is there's not like a good trap card you can play to help that. Like, it's kind of like the Guard is the best you're going to get. In your turn, you deal 500, Worms deal 3k. Yeah, exactly. Because just popping 2 guys out the way is so strong. Okay. So we're using the skill. We're adding the dragon. We're going to set a couple of cards in defense. Tribute both. Is this Mirageus? We got 3 back row to get through, though. I do not feel like this is going to go well. Is that Ray in the chat? Hello, hello. Hellos, I'm here for the funeral. Welcome, welcome. Okay, we're fusing. We are going to go ahead and make the Mirageus start F. Is this lethal if the back row's nothing? We reduce. Yeah, I mean, we know this is lethal just by looking at the fact there's 2 0 attack monsters on the field. But we know there's going to be something, right? Like, there has to be a back row that's going to stop this. Here it comes. Negate attack. Go! Yep. So, this game has come down to the Dragon player has had the OTK twice, and the Worm player has had negate attack for both OTK pushes. So, you know, it looks like this matchup might just be have negate attack or die. Which, to be fair, just have negate attack is pretty good. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, we don't have anything. We're just emptying the hand. Goes to battle, clears over the dragon. So we could force a 2-turn clock, which might be the way to go here, to be honest. Because if you attack a monster, you make room for a potential comeback. As is, he has 2 chances to hard draw the Build Dragon, right? I guess technically you could hard draw a Gantry and that would also do the same thing, but he needs to make room. So I think you just attack directly. Clearly negate attack needs to be banned. Sick of all these trap cards ruining the game. But again, without negate attack, what you're saying is, like, so let's look at this game and the last game. What you're saying is that you want dragons to just be able to OTK with impunity. And that would be better for the game? Because I don't know about that. I don't really like dragons OTKing me. I kind of like being able to say, no, you're not allowed to do that. But, I don't know, maybe that's not a popular opinion. Soramia. There is a lot of removal, though. Yeah, there is a decent amount, especially, like, if you're playing, like, something like Heroes, or if you're playing, you know, Metarion, if you're playing, I guess not really Gaia anymore. And we'll be getting even more when Light Galaxy comes out, or when we get the Light Galaxy Fusion stuff. I am back from your video. Dragon stuff can be pog. I hope they are cheap to get. Yeah. I think out of the 4 decks, the Dragonic stuff looks to be the weakest, for reasons I went over in the video. But, it still looks like it could be a fun deck. Ruin kills dragons even more than NA. I mean, you're not wrong. And I guess it would be a 1-to-1. If it wasn't negate attack, it would have been widespread ruin. Alright, let's see what happens here. Well, he needs exactly the guard, or he's dead. That's not the guard. That's not the guard. Oh my... Imagine if that last back row was the guard. Just imagine for a second that last back row is the guard. Alright, well, Gozu takes a game. I believe that means we're 1-all. Let me go and take a look if the other game has ended yet or not. Because the other game was what? Dark Galaxy versus Santa? Oh, guys! Santa Mill is in the final! They beat Dark Galaxy! Oh, Christ! Santa Mill might win a tournament! Oh, I feel sick. Is Psychic Skill banned? Yes, Ray. Psychic Skill is banned. I wish they add, like, Harpies or Blue Eye support. The thing is, they have to pace themselves, right? They specifically, or Konami will specifically release the nostalgia decks, like, at certain intervals. How did Santa Mill beat a piercing deck? We may never know. We may never know. Think about this in a different way. How did Santa Mill beat the deck that mills itself? It's true, they do mill a lot. I mean, yeah. Imagine you're like, sat there like treating Globule like it's a hot commodity, like, we must use Globule to refill the deck every opportunity. Man, what an exciting game. Pot agreed. Okay. We've drawn 3 cards. We've managed to +1. Surely Golem is too strong for Requiem because it's not a light monster. Yep, that's definitely how that works. They have a lot of 1400s. Okay. So, there's no reason to summon this unless we have access to Build Dream and the Field Spell. So, I'm assuming we're going to be seeing a Fusion Summon here. That's Tarask. Okay, so we've found the Equip Spell. Not the Equip Spell. The Field Spell. So go ahead and grab Peaks of Blistopia. Where do we go from here? We're going to activate it. Okay. We still need our little Princess Pylon. She might be there in defense mode. We don't know. Does Rush Door have any cards that can attack in defense position, like Super Heavy Samurais? No. Not yet, at least. I really like cards that attack from defense position, to be honest. I know they can get a little bit annoying, though, so I understand why a lot of people don't. Do we have the Princess Pylon? Are we going to see it? I feel like there was no reason to do any of this if we weren't going to make our fusion, right? Because all you're doing is letting your opponent search too. Princess Pylon was there, which means we can bring it back using our Build Dragon's effect. So who are we summoning out here? So this is Gantry. Then we're going to summon out... we hadn't normal summoned a normal, which meant there was no way for us to get access to the fusion. Ooh, that's awkward. The issue is we know what that set card is as well, though. We're not really in a spot where we're likely to get OTK'd, but we could, though, right? Like, we activate the skill, search both cards, then we have, what, 7 in hand, 2 on the field, 9 cards to just make, what, Mirageus, Dragon, Fusion, and then just make like a Dragius, and that should be lethal. Now, if we get Rampart Blaster, that'd be the first. Could you imagine? A low-key, if Light Galaxy, Dark Galaxy, and Seven's Road become very good, my 3 main decks are in the meta. Yes! I love all of those decks. I love all... Ooh, what? Oh, Gozu doesn't have any boss monsters. Oh, this is insanity. We literally could have just died there. We could have actually just seen Weiner get absolutely blown out. But Gozu clearly just does not have any bosses. There goes Flip Flat. We're going to see the Dragon take the hit. And Winged Dragon Guardian of the Fortress. Because the issue that Wine is going to have is we need to draw a Tribute Monster to make room so that we can actually make a play. Mirror Gears plus Boss plus TSA. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's not difficult, right? Like, realistically. I'm probably the most excited for my Open Attribute Wizard Family support. The thing is, it's not going to be Open Attribute Wizard Family, because it's going to be Closed Attribute Wizard Family. Because it'll be a pure Dark deck. Well, we're just going to keep smashing through. So Gozu is now just waiting until he draws bosses. And ideally, a situation where he can actually summon monsters onto the field. Because if he just draws all the bosses at once, he can't do anything. It's going to be Metarian Wizards. I swear, if Metarian, again, creeps its way back into the meta, piggybacking off of another deck and another skill, I am going to scream. Metarian can't keep getting away with this. Every time Metarian is a good deck in the meta is garbage. Every single time. And even when the meta like isn't bad and it doesn't feel that bad to play, it's still every single time we've had one deck be unbelievably dominant, it's always those bloody clowns. It's always the clowns. It's always the clowns. Master of Seven's Road might be toxic if we get the Darkness cards. If we do, I don't know if we will though. Like, there's a chance we do. But even if we do, it's basically just Mill Turbo. So, like, it's not... It probably wouldn't be, like, insanity, but it would be a lot stronger. Okay, I'm most excited for my racist wizard family support. I mean, to each their own, to each their own. Metarian Light Galaxy. That's going to be a little bit harder to pull off. I will laugh at Metarian Seven's Road. I mean, it definitely has potential. It's a testament to show how good the puppets are, though. The issue is the puppets are they're too slippery, right? It's really hard to set the restrictions on a deck to not allow the Metarian cards in them without, like, just locking them to a single type, which they don't want to do with a lot of these different decks. At least beam is limit 1. I mean, the skill only locks spellcasters affect monsters. I think it is a sign. Clowns forever. The issue isn't even like... The issue is not every deck or other strong decks should have access to like Ashura Star and Virtual Star. That's what it really comes down to. Like, we might actually get to the point where we just ban Ashura Star just to stop them from doing this shit. or you just have to, every single skill going forward, you have to just set a clause on it saying you're not allowed to play Metarian somehow, however we want to do that. Metarian never dies. How good can they be without Beam? I mean, we've seen them be really, really good, Hans, in Gaia Metarian without Beam. I think we will get Master of Seven's Road as the ultra prismatic card for the WCS campaign. I mean, potentially, definitely could be. Also, I really don't like the new name. So its Japanese name is Master of Seven's Road. Its English name is Master of the Seven's Road. And I just think the just feels really out of place. It no longer like rolls off the tongue. Just say Metarian Actor can't be played in the deck Easy Cloud. I mean, you could do, definitely could do. Ban Ashura, this man is going crazy, lock him up. I mean, Ashura is like the only main offender. If we get rid of Ashura, you can play Metarian in whatever you want. No one's going to give a shit. No, he is not. Let him cook. Yo, quantum music. I mean, this is just Green Hill Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog. We should ban all Dark Galaxy cards instead for Hikari. I mean, that is an option. The issue is I also quite like Dark Galaxy, so I would like that to not happen. Like, I don't mind us banning cards specifically to annoy Hikari. I do mind if it also annoys me, right? So we got to find a middle ground where we only annoy Hikari. And I think that's basically just hit Metarian. Master of Seven's Road isn't a magical knight. No TCB required. Exactly, exactly. Whoa, I want the Dark Galaxy too. Exactly, see. Gasp. Hello, hello, Jambo. Welcome, welcome. Who is actually going to win this game? This is actually a very, very interesting game. We have 6 cards in hand. We have 4 cards of field. We have 10 cards to work with to beat a 3,000 guy. Okay, we're tributing 2. So I assume this is going to be a Bill Dragon. So now we can use Bill Dragon. Okay, or we just normal summon it. We have one in graveyard, so we're always having access to it either way. The whole point was we needed to make room. So now we can use the skill to take back the fusion, activate the fusion. So we can't pop this, but we can attack over it for 400. So right now we're threatening 33. If we can get 27 onto the board, which is, we just activate Gantry. So we're now threatening lethal. Battle phase, no back row. Oh. It looks like we have Slime. We are going to be using Slime. Okay. So 3,000 life points, though. It's not easy to kill through this. It's basically another Mirror Gear Star is what we need. So if we have access to Mirror Gear Star, then Gozu's going to win. If we don't, Gozu probably just loses here. Me when Green Hill? Exactly, exactly. Oh no. You better have some balls attached to those pantaloons. Hercule Star. I always get them confused as well, because the Japanese name is Hercule Star, I think. But the English name is just Hercules Star. It's so bad right now, without Beam, that people play the Dino, so I don't think it's time for his revenge. But it could be, if suddenly Spellcaster became the tier 1 deck, right? As long as they make Light Galaxy not have to play Zyphos, I will be happy. Well, we've already seen the new skill, right? So there's no reason to play it. There's a ruling for the Dragon skill, right? Yes, you can only search each of the cards once per duel. That is the rule. Alright, if we see a Mirror Gears hit the board, this could be spooky, but we're taking so long. Okay, I don't know if that says time limit win. But that is going to be Gozu out. So that will be Dragon Fusion falling at the last hurdle. And that does mean our grand finals is going to be Worms versus Santa Mill. So who will win? The Worms or the Bearded Boy? Time limit, surely? I mean, probably. It is Gozu, so it's likely. Exactly. I haven't played Duel Links in ages. Is it getting Royal Rebels Progressive anytime soon? Probably not. Unfortunately, Jambo. I would really... I don't know if that's unfortunately. Progressive is really good. What was the point? Make Metarian great again. Nah, that was the point. Nah. Worm says so. Dragon skill should have needed a discard. I think so as well, personally. I don't know what Seepso means, but... Sweepso, there we go. Time limit surely. He set 3 too slow for like 5 turns in a row. I voted bearded. I vote for bearded worms. Okay, fair. Nah. Oh yeah, we have 3 Santa now. Yes. I mean, if you've opened them, I still only have 2 Santa because I haven't opened Gallic Granite or the 3rd Santa yet. Worms for the W. Wait, so finals is worm versus mill. Yes. Doesn't Santa mill counter worm because of the milling worm does? You know, maybe you just don't use Tarask, right? If you just don't use Tarask, you don't have to worry about it. Right? Easy. Time for a toxic meta. Define a toxic meta, right? Because the only, like, cringe in the meta right now is Santa Mill. Right? So, like... the rest of it's looking like Dark Galaxy. I'm happy to see them back. Dragon Fusion. I mean, I'm not enthusiastic, but okay, whatever. E-Hero. Chemicalize. Cyburst. Those all sound cool. And then on the horizon, we've got Light Galaxy, Dark Galaxy Spellcasters. I'm like, this meta is looking really good. I think Worm wins because they pop 2. I mean, potentially. Globule, my beloved, to counter Santa Mill. Unfortunately, Santa Mill did already beat a Dark Galaxy, which is a bit of a shame, but, you know, it is what it is. A cringe meta is a meta I don't like. Easy. I mean, yeah. I mean, being cringe is a matter of opinion, right? It's one person's cringe will be another person's based. That's the world we live in. If Gaia is super tier 0 was not a toxic meta, I mean, it's one of those things where I personally think Gaia being tier 0 was actually not as bad as the dragon meta that came before it. Because I think it was more enjoyable. But, like, I think it's going to be perspective, right? It's going to be personal opinion. It's going to be what deck did you play during that time? How many games did you play? I personally think that Psychic has been arguably the most healthy deck in the meta for a long time. That is my personal opinion. I know, again, if people don't like Psychic, or if they don't play Psychic, they probably won't share that opinion. But I honestly think Psychic has been the most healthy deck pretty much since it came out. As long as Psychic's best deck in the meta is based. I mean... Ban Giorgio? Rush, I can't. The SRM skill needs to just say Spellcasters and Roadstar. Yeah, that would be good, I think. Cringe meta is when Light Galaxy isn't meta. I mean, we did see Horpiero doing okay with Light Galaxy recently, so yeah. How is Sidra in the current meta? Sidra isn't really seeing much play at all. It's not really topping. It's kind of like a rogue deck at the moment. It's like doing... it's okay. It's not doing great. Bring me back to tier 0 Psychics. Loved that. So I didn't like that. So back when Psychics were at their like absolute peak of strength was like the Transcendence Mirageus meta. And that's back before we had the fusions. And I think Psychic pre-fusion was just an RNG fest, right? It was, did you draw the custom hand that just OTKs with Melody? If you did, great, you win. And if you don't, I guess just get stuffed, right? So I wasn't a big fan of that. I think Psychic Fusion is where Psychics have felt the most healthy. Yeah, for sure, Psychic Mirror format was so cool. I think for my tournament, I will only allow dragons. Gaia skill is impossible to replicate, and I think people wouldn't play anyway. Yeah, I think that's also fine. The question is, are you going to basically tell them they're only allowed to use it to search Poly once, or Fusion once? Every meta is cringe as long as we don't have Meek-chan or Dice meta. Nah, Dice is kind of lame. Dice has an issue where either it's so RNG that it's bad, because you just have to sack to do anything, Or they made some of the cards too good, which basically means it might as well not be a dice roll deck. It's a really weird one. Who draws candy first? Missed one. Time to cook Seven's Matarian. No. A very important one. How do you replicate that? Screw dice. That was banned for sure. Well, my idea was you cannot interact with the card for that turn. But what about the next turn? Okay. I'm being a little bit lost here. So we are seeing double Santa hit the board, gaining a ton of life, making our opponent draw a ton of cards. We did not see Revitalization come down, though. We know he's playing at least 2. We have a issue, and this is an issue that seems to keep plaguing the Worm player, which is he gets his board clogged. So if you send a monster you can't start, restart, or reborn Prima, you still have them in graveyard. No, it's too much faff, Jorthia. You just ban it. You just ban it. Poly and Dragons is so fun. Stop coping. Yeah, literally, you need to get off the copium, Jorthio. It's just gonna be banned. It's not worth it. It's not worth the hassle. Sending candy is irrelevant, only if you use that turn. But Sire's based. It is based, and it will make its triumphant return on the 7th or whatever it is. But until then, it's just going to have to go away. Is this the final or the semi-final? This is the grand finals one. The grand finals. That's too much for Yu-Gi-Oh players to handle. They can't read all of that. It's not even about reading. It's about just remembering that you have to do it in the moment. Do next turn is going to be there. I can make a skill up. Size Psychic Bros. Just wait 2 weeks. Oh my god. Right. We have popped 2 cards out the way. The issue is we only have 9 cards left in our deck. Our opponent is going to Revitalization in a minute and empty our hand. Things are looking a little bit rough for the Worm player. We're on a bit of a clock here. And fighting through 3 back row, we're probably not going to do super well here. The Gaia boost is more relevant than the Psychic Sendback, in my opinion. Yeah, that's why you should also ban Gaia. You should ban both. We can't, like, pick and choose. I think it's really weird to do so. Merry Easter! Woo woo! Happy Anzac Day? I don't know what Anzac is. I'm going to Google that now. That's tomorrow. Anzac Day is tomorrow. A day of remembrance in Australia, New Zealand, and Tonga. Nice. You know, I appreciate that you come from those countries, Acceleration Gate. And I appreciate that that's a day that you celebrate. Anzac is today in Anzacland. What you're just saying words. You're just saying things. Do you do anything special for Anzac Day? Like, do you have like a minute of silence, or do you have like a special meal, or does everyone wear like a certain piece of clothing or something? Can only send a back row. Australia, New Zealand Army Corps. It makes it much worse though. Tomato, I have an audio clip that was suggested to be used for channel points. Right. Anzac is there. Well, means I get Friday off. Oh yeah, 20 minutes here. We eat dry ass biscuits. Anzac biscuits. How exciting. It's 7 AM somewhere. Saying tomorrow's an important day in Italy, so no work. I mean, Italy's had a bit of a rough time lately, haven't they? Like, they just had the Pope passed away, which I know, you know, is, I don't imagine all Italians give a shit about that, but obviously it was like in Italy, right? So the rest of the world seems to give a shit at the very least. sell this. The Pope isn't in Italy. I don't know. Where is the Pope? Pope's in Vatican, right? I mean, the Vatican... Alright. It's its own city-state, right? Okay, but it's still, like... It's still, like, in Italy. It's a different country, technically, but yeah. It's basically Italy. Let's not split hairs. Santa Mill goes up a game! Santa Mill might be winning this tournament! Vatican is in Rome, but it is a different country. Apparently it's a city-state. So it isn't technically Italy, but it is like surrounded by Italy. It is like landlocked on all sides by Italy. I don't care either way, they should ban Vatican. I don't think Vatican should get hit though. Like, I don't think Vatican has like that much of an impact on the meta at the moment. Like, maybe, depending on how, like, some of the other religions do going forward when we start to see tournament results. But for right now, I don't think we need to hit Vatican. With Persona soundtrack, let's go. Jesus has too much recursion. I have... The thing is, though, if you take away the recursion from Jesus, like, what does the deck do? Realistically. Like, you can't just have, like, infinite fish and bread be your only, like, party trick, right? Vatican is getting its support soon, though. Yeah, I did hear that. I heard there's a new release coming out. Didn't Vatican just get hit on the ban list? See, it did, but, like, it's more, like, rotated out. It's like the format went through a rotation. Also, I don't know how, like, insensitive this conversation is. I feel like it's on the cusp. The real question is, they banned my god TCB, so yes. You can't worship a gun, Hikari. You can't just worship a gun. That's weird. Alright, we're seeing... Right, this is what the worm player needs early. We're seeing early aggression. We're seeing big, beefy worms. We're seeing big construction equipment. We are going to see one card get hit. We are going to see a 3,000 attack to the face. Since the delay did shift, I'm going to assume that back row is probably slime. That is almost certainly slime. Yala Wild. Church is so over. Church is like, is fine. I think Religion is one of the better card games, personally. As long as no one is offended. Yeah, if anyone is offended, feel free to say and we will actually stop talking about it. Like, I'm not here to offend people, realistically. Alright, so we have slime in the back row. So we just pop 2. But then we have to attack with one of these. So, right, the winning line is have another Bill Dragon in hand, right? If we have Bill Dragon... Oh, okay. We're not even going to force the slime... Oh, we can't normal summon because we haven't got room. Right, okay. So the play has to be draw a tribute monster. And the best one's going to be Bill Dragon. If we contribute 2, get out Bill Dragon. Summon ideally Pylon, like Princess Pylon. That should get us most of what we need. Because even if we do find another Peaks of Blistopia, that on its own won't end the game. Because we activate it, pop 2 cards, then we have to attack with a level 8 at some point, which means he will just get to use the slime in the back row. Hand revitalization times 3, GG. I mean, if nothing else, it means that we might have a higher chance to draw into what we're actually looking for here. The issue now is going to be that second back row. Don't we just win here? Ruining Grave. So we still need to get specific things, right? We can't activate the skill unless we summon a normal monster. Right? So if we don't have access to a field spell, we can't do much about that. We know he's got Slime in the back row. Slime is the middle back row card. Ah, I wasn't sure if you could reduce a monster's attack that was already at 0. This isn't something that comes up often, mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. The issue here again is we still can't play through Slime. And we're digging. We are digging. Yeah, you can reduce cats. I mean, that's good to know. That's good to know. I don't know if attacking with Big Santa was worth it. The issue he had was, if we did just find the right combination of cards, it was just lethal, because we had the Build Dream up. Okay, but we don't have current... No, this is just lethal. This is just lethal. This is just lethal. Because Slime can't activate extra attack on the level 9. Is there anything that other back row could be? I don't think so. Like, even if it's, like, Restoration, it doesn't save us. Okay, so that's 1-1. 1 apiece. Going into Game 3. Alright, we'll see. We'll see who can win. We'll see if Worms can defeat Santa, or if Santa is too powerful. Slime plus the Fiend Trap. I mean, that's a good point, actually. If he had Fiend Trap. Majesty. Can he play Majesty? I mean, it depends if he's playing any of the Limit 1s, right? He's playing Widespread. And he is playing Goat. So, yeah. I don't think we've seen, or at least I haven't seen Majesty yet, but I mean, it's almost certainly playing it. Set 3. Set 2 back row. Pass. Okay. What has Danny got? A lot of sets. Ads coming in at just the wrong time. I suppose we'd rather the ads happen now than, like, towards the end of the game. Provided the game doesn't just, like, abruptly end out of nowhere. Don't know about setting 3. I guess the logic is you still have to draw into your stuff to actually play the game, right? It's hard to normal summon a vanilla. Keeping 1 is better. I mean, yeah, potentially. I mean, you met this guy, didn't you, Geoffio, at Worlds? And obviously, he must have a good idea of what he's doing, because again, he did go to Worlds and he did win GRF. So, bro has to at least have an idea. Who's this? This is Weiner. So this is the other Japanese guy that went that wasn't Moki Moki. A whiner. I mean, kinda. Okay, we're seeing Gantry come down. No Bill Dragon in Graveyard, though. We have made room, so we can normal summon a normal monster, which would let us get the skill. But what do we do from here? Gonna activate the skill. Probably grabbing a field spell. Okay, we're discarding Pylon. Grabbing the field spell, making our deck a little bit thinner. Activating our field spell, boosting our attack, setting another back row. Oh, it's a little bit scary, isn't it? The thing is, we almost guarantee that the Piccolon can't be over. Like, you can get over like Mr. Alchemy. That's about it. Okay, setting more. Looks like no big punish this turn. But we are going down to only 7 cards in deck here. It really needs to find a Bill Dragon to really get something going here. We're gonna dig deeper. Oh god, we're gonna have 6 cards in deck against a mill deck. We're doing Santa's job for him. We're gonna tribute 2. This was the card we drew for turn, I believe, or that we just drew off of Piccolon. So we did find the Bill Dragon. We normal summon the Princess Pylon. So we could have used the effect to bring it back. We chose to get the one out of the hand. So we make the Bill Dream. We can use Bill Dream effect to pop 2. So this does threaten lethal. This does threaten lethal. So it comes down to what the back row is. Did he add fusion earlier? No. So now he grabs this back. Activates it. And so now, again, this does threaten lethal. Hold. Hold! Worms take the win! Worms are going to 2-1 Santa Mill. Santa Mill unable to find their important trap cards to stall out the game any longer and survive. Worms digging just deep enough to find everything they needed to find the win. Oh, I'm so happy Santa didn't win a tournament. I'm so happy Santa did not win the tournament. That would have been so awful. But yes, let's go. Worms winning yet another big tournament. And this could be basically like a premonition of what's to come. The next few tournaments we could also start to see Worms performing quite well. Santa Mill, though, making another top 2 finish. Check PayPal. Hello, Chapstick, by the way. Did he add fusion earlier? Come on, Worm. Yo, Worm says so. Let's go. No, the Christmas is over. You are not beating the meme spreadsheet allegation anyways. It made it to the finals. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, both of these decks got here by mostly beating up Dark Galaxy players. So what does that tell us? Maybe Dark Galaxy is like the ladder you climb to win tournaments. I mean, potentially. And there we go. That is the tournament done. So I guess we'll be moving on to talk about other things. I guess first off we'll show the results. So this should update. There we go. So behold, we had Worm winning, Santa Mill second, Dragon Fusion in third, and Dark Galaxy also in third. Then we had Elemental Heroes, Chemicalized, Cyburst, and Dark Galaxy all making top 8 finishes. This was also, by the way, since the changes, this was Cyburst's first top. So we did see Beyond Curiosity doing quite well. Cyburst on this is still referring to Ragnarok. We might have to change that up. But for now, Cyburst means Ragnarok. Now, we all know Dark Galaxy is bad. We don't care because it's best deck in my heart. Again, I think it has a good matchup into Cyburst, ironically. Like, it's really strong into Cyburst. I think it'll be good into both versions of Cyburst. And if Cyburst becomes the anti-Worm deck, that means Dark Galaxy could really jump in as the third deck in the meta. Like, unironically, that could be the case. Especially with Psychic not on the table, like, for the foreseeable future, for the next 2 weeks. So, there's a chance. What we also need to do is we need to change this over. So if I do this, nope, not that one. This, yes. So, with that done, we will start going over some of the other bits and bobs. And obviously, the new hotness is the Speed and Rush Forbidden Limited List Skill Balance Update. Tomato! Yes, Ray, what is it? What is it, Ray? I'm going to go over some of these new banned cards. I think you spelled that wrong a little bit there. So here we have banned Dark Eradicate Warlock. Yeah. FDK suck. No one's going to be playing this card anyway outside of FDK. It's whatever. Summoner of Illusions to 1, as well as Independent Nightingale. This is fine. Realistically, anyone that's playing Summoner of Illusions is just, like, OTKing or FDKing or some bullshit. Independent Nightingale is similar, but it's like an anime boss, so it's a lot harder to, like, justify banning it. Dragus de Pelea, I don't think this was necessary, personally, but what do I know? You know, I'm just a speed tourist, realistically. But yeah, I don't know why we've hit Dragus de Pelea. Eh. Holy Predap is dead. Planet free. I don't even think Predaplant needed the hit, to be perfectly honest, I don't know. The more I see the FTK being limited to 1, the more funnier it is. I mean, yeah. Fuck your Predaplants. The other one is like Void Ogre. Void Ogre to 1 is like, I think this is good for the game. I think having a deck set up like 5 interactions that are really hard to deal with is not ideal, just for like the game's health in general. I think at least letting you activate more than... Because at the moment, you still have Abyss, and Abyss will still stop anything. So you can like stop a spell card, for example. Having Void Ogre as well means you can stop 2 spells, and I think that's a little bit too much. So like, it's like whatever, right? If anything, Predator Hand Trap could have been looked at. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about as well. Like, I don't think we needed to hit that, but it's whatever, right? So Recurrence is an interesting one. Recurrence is a very important tool for the deck. I don't know how impactful this is, right? I know players saying 2 spell negates is broken. Yes, basically. I don't think there's anything controversial with saying that. A lot of the time, like, dinos can make 3 spell negates, right? But dinos can also get broken, like,